Welcome to episode 75 of Crave the Book. In today's episode, Amber and I cover chapters 145 through 149 of Tracy Wolff Covet. And in today's episode, Grace and Hudson and Flint and Remy and Caulder are through the giant trials and they are finally able to make it out of the prison. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. What's up, guys? We are on episode 75, and we are so close to the end of Covet, I can almost taste it. La 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 la.
Just licking the inside of court.
We're doing chapters 145 through 149, which is going to be the end of the prison. We are at the end of, I was going to say we're at the end of the stress, but that's not
the bad
true.
stuff. No, we're not at the end of the bad stuff.
No, and there's one spoiler in this episode, and I'm glad that you documented it because I was going to mention the same spoiler, so it's good to know we're on the same page. But just listen for the wolf howl. If you haven't read Court, you're going to want to drop out when you hear that wolf howl because there is going to be one Court spoiler. Hopefully by now, most countries have it.
Hopefully. I noticed that it came out, maybe it wasn't the same book. I don't know. I think there's something got translated into Polish. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it was a fever dream.
Yeah. I mean, we're going on, what? Once Cherish releases, that'll be 2 more books just since Court came out. I can understand people not having access to Charm yet, but hopefully everybody's got their Court translations. If not, let us know on the YouTube channel over at Crave the Book Podcast because we can see comments there. But so when we last left off, Grace and Hudson had just battled the giants to win their freedom from the prison, and
Frickin'
frack, Bora Bora and Tahiti. I can't remember what their actual names were.
Efferson something.
And Merman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a giant butt merman?
I mean, it would probably be easier to kill. What are they doing? Like slithering around like a snake? They're not in water.
They wouldn't have a fishtail. They'd have like a whale tail.
Yeah. They would just lay there and flop around like a goldfish. So Grace is covered in blood and Hudson is covered in blood. And
she is covered in the ick.
Yeah, in bodily brain matter from these giants being impaled by big bone chandeliers.
And narwhal tusks, guys.
Yeah, narwhal tusks.
She sat there and did a swab for DNA. Checked that, yep, it is indeed narwhal tusk. Couldn't possibly be anything else.
Giant unicorn.
We are really hoping there's a unicorn.
And
really hoping.
And I just want to point out that when you get a new tattoo, getting mystery creature blood in that tattoo is the last thing that you want to do. Just saying. Yeah. It's a good way to get...
You don't want any of those, like...
Giant AIDS?
Called? Well, yeah, I was going to say AIDS, but like HIV is a type of disease that comes through blood.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the name of blood transfusion issues are.
See, if it was giant AIDS, would it be like AIDS that are giant, or would it be AIDS specifically for a giant? Like, you never know. These giants, they've been hanging out in prison. I believe that at least U.S. prisons are a cesspool of, sexually transmitted disease. Yeah, sexually transmitted diseases, at least, and bloodborne illnesses. So,
bloodborne. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
And then, what I really, really love is that while they're covered in blood, that giant confetti cannons shoot off.
Like, the torture are like tarring and feathering.
Yes, I'm just imagining Grace standing there like pip, 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 pip.
Just covered in, like, I wonder like what kind of confetti. It's like wedding confetti with like, you know, like it looks almost like fish food.
Yeah, is it like thin paper? Is it, you know, glitter confetti? Is it
like streamers?
Is it streamers? Is it biodegradable? Like, glitter is bad for the environment, yo.
Is it like silly string? You know, like when you do a party popper?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and that
sticky.
String stuff come out. She just looks like a mess. She looks like a piñata has pooped all over her.
Yeah. And, you know,
yep.
I would like to imagine that for the rest of the chapters that we read, she was completely covered in blood and confetti.
Well, there's a point where she's like, get it off, get it off, get it off. And she starts like stripping. Like, she's so adamant she doesn't want this blood anywhere near her, which I get you. I feel you, girl. Like, me neither. But like Hudson's like, no, it's okay. And I just like to like think of him just like, you're like covered in chocolate pudding. You're just like, yum. Just every time she moves, he gets more on him and he's like licking it off. Like,
chocolate strawberry.
It's his food. Like, like she's like, get this chocolate sauce off me. And he's like, whipped cream.
Well, maybe he can't have giant's blood. Maybe it's...
What if that's his kink?
Giant's blood?
Oh no, her just, you know, like how you have like foodies who like to have food in the bedroom? Like his is blood sports.
Blood sports.
It's like, yeah, baby. Get that AB positive all over you.
Does it, I mean, I'm sure it's more than just blood though. There's probably chunks too.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
Chunky.
Definitely. And he does say that as a vampire, he doesn't get any of those kind of illnesses. So if it was a HIV giant,
he's totally safe.
Yep.
Good to go.
He is a walking condom.
So in the chaos of everyone cheering and confetti going everywhere, and Grace and Hudson being covered in blood, Remy and Flint, who's carrying Caulder, and Vander, they all meet with Grace and Hudson, and Remy just is like, let's go, because they notice that little baby bitch boy has tried to make a getaway. Mm-hmm. He's trying to, like, sneak off, and then he's like, oh, I can't even remember what his excuse was. He was like, I was trying to do this.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I love that, like, Caulder is, like, upside down over Flint's shoulder. Like, her hair is just swaying in the breeze. She's dead, guys.
She's just missed everything important.
Yep.
She's had
and the other thing, do you not feel like Vander would have been slightly offended that she's just murdered 2 of his race?
I don't know. If they were the only thing keeping him from being with his wife,
yeah,
then I
also
guess...
feel like maybe I am actually the racist in that scenario by assuming he may have known them.
Yeah, he might.
It's like, you're giants, you all know each other, right?
Right. Yeah, you're a giant racist.
My neighbor's a giant. Do you know him?
Awful. Yeah. I would say that, I think it would be the same as if we were imprisoned by a bunch of other creatures, but then there were a couple more humans, but they were bad. Like, you would still see them as bad.
They didn't ask them whether they were bad.
That's true, but they were like super excited to fight and kill, and we're given like some clues that they've killed multiple creatures who have tried to make their escape. Like, this has been a well choreographed thing.
I love that they've slaughtered the grand champions.
Yeah. What are they gonna do now?
With a chandelier.
How are they gonna do their weird gladiator fights anymore?
I'd like to they need to throw in some like psychological winners.
They need the little asshole in there. The little
maybe, but
asshole.
I'm more thinking like the basilisk. So some lady turns up in sunglasses and you go, what are you gonna do to me? And then she's like, ha ha ha.
Do like a gauntlet of different, like you have to fight your way through the layers of
creatures. I feel like if you've got to fight a giant, you can't really use smarts, because I mean Grace probably used the only way of using smarts in that battle.
Yeah.
And if no one else has ever done it before, then they've not really been intelligent fighters going in.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't try the Scooby-Doo chandelier trick?
I mean, especially with the chain that's conveniently positioned right there.
This seems to be right here.
That's why.
I mean, maybe people didn't really survive the first attack. Like, literally, like, you just get picked up by, like, some, like, behemoth of a person who smacks you into the ground and does, like, some weird, arm wrestle. And it's like, give him the chair! Give him the chair! I don't think you have time to really think, I wonder what happens if I drop these narwhal tusks onto him. Like, maybe people didn't get to that point.
Right. Can I do that?
Maybe they were kind of dead already.
Am I allowed to do that? Does that break
Is
the
it breaking the rules?
the rules of the battle?
Yeah, the rules that are definitely not written anywhere.
So they find little baby asshole trying to escape down the hallway, and Grace just kind of goes berserk on him, and she knows. Like,
well, there's a bit that Remy's like, oh, sorry, we know that it's past your bedtime, and then he literally agrees with the statement a couple of minutes after stropping. He's like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what time it is.
Is it nighttime when they leave?
Well, so they have the 12 hours in the pit.
Uh-huh.
And then they had the fight, was when they had 3-4 hours left in the pit.
Well,
so he's going to bed, at curfew.
If there's no concept of time, because the prison is, its own mechanics, who's to say that they don't get to go to the pit at, 3 a.m.?
Maybe he's just one of those people who's like, if I don't go to bed now, I'm going to be awake all night.
I need my warm milk.
I need my bath and bedtime story.
And my blankie. Yeah.
And my nightlight that twinkles.
He gets progressively more whiny.
Yeah,
during this
because
scene.
It's gone past his bedtime.
That's true. That's right. He's
overtired
excuse.
And crabby.
Yes.
Not where crabby.
I can relate, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, I missed my nappy.
Nappy time.
You don't want to say nappy time in the UK, because nappy times means you need a diaper.
Maybe he does. That's why he's so cranky. He's got a little rashy on his little assy.
Yeah, Grace really does kind of go for him. I think she's just done with his pettiness, and
she's covered in blood and confetti.
Yeah, and she's actually a little bit badass in this scene, and there's a moment where she realizes that they have kind of bargained without Grace and Hudson being in the same room whilst they were fighting, and they've kind of made sure that Remy's going to stay behind, and she's a bit confused as to why that's happening. But no one says specifically who's staying behind, and Vanda seems to think that he's like, you are our people. Our people definitely deserve to leave. And then we're literally within 2 minutes, he's then like, I knew you'd betray me. And I'm like, you've been part of this club for an hour. You need to either get with this club or not with this club.
Yeah, he has very, very low trust in this process, even after watching this epic battle.
Yeah. Also, he's literally just watched 2 of his kinsmen, his race, be slaughtered, and then he's like, yeah, but my people over here.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you've literally been part of this group for, an hour? You made the key, which did take 6 hours, but you weren't really interacting with them or anything. And then literally immediately after finding out that one of them is going to stay behind, he immediately assumes it's him. And I'm like, dude, you were part of that conversation. You were there. Unless he was watching the fight so intensely that he didn't really pay attention to what was being discussed.
So here's
Which I would be.
But what I'm confused about is Remy is staying behind because he says that he knows that he has always gone out with a flower and he wants to do like his sure thing. Grace, where does he get the flower now?
She never gave it to him. Yeah, but then I thought that maybe she got them all out at the same time. Because Caulder was managed to snatch one.
I guess.
So maybe she got all 3 out, which was a really bad idea.
What if they die? Like, they start wilting.
But also, like, that means that you've got them all out at the one time. You can't bargain with it. You can't use it.
Right.
You've already given it out. So, like, Remy could have betrayed them. Remy could have gone, cool, right, yeah, bye, see ya, I'm out.
Out.
And then taken the flower and then just not helped them out.
Yeah. I don't
big
know.
Trust.
I don't ever remember him receiving it. And
me neither.
But I mean,
and then we got to the bit, like, literally as they were leaving the prison and she still hadn't given it to him, and I was like,
give him the flower.
Maybe she left without it. She never gave it to him.
He'll go back to his cell and sit there for a minute and be like, wait
God
a minute.
damn it. So, I forgot my keys.
Yeah. I feel like she had to have given it to, well, I don't know, because now he's still got all this power. So he could technically, if he might just say, fuck it, I can get out now. Like,
there was also a massive amount of trust for him, because there's a point where they exchange, like, she goes in and deep dives for his power, and then she could have just gone, cool, bye.
Yeah. I love how she spends an entire chapter going on and on and on about how, like, he doesn't have as much power as his mom said. Parents do bizarre and terrible things every day. And I'm sitting here like, now wait a minute. Parents do bizarre and terrible. What? Every day? We do.
Yep. Every day.
I'm a parent. I haven't done anything bizarre and terrible yet today.
Are you sure?
I mean, not yet.
Go ask Taylor.
Taylor, have I done anything bizarre and terrible today? Yeah.
Like, does it also, is it subjective to the person that she's on about? Like, is it to the child, or is it in general?
All parents, every day, always. We are always up to no good. Yeah. But she goes,
she seems to, like, go in, like, into depth, and she's like, no, how do I tell him that his mother lied?
Right. And then she starts thinking about her parents, and my parents lied to me. And and then she starts thinking about, like, how there was this tension between her and her parents, like, right before they died, where her mom was forcing her to drink her tea. When what she really wanted was LaCroix and Dr. Pepper, and how her parents were.
It sounds like teenagehood, really. It sounds like adolescence.
Yeah, yeah.
Drink, like, Mom, I really wanted Dr. Pepper. It's like, no, you'll have tea.
That
is how Britain is.
I was going to say that would only make sense for you guys. That would be weird here.
Yeah.
You must drink your tea.
Yeah. We don't have breast milk. It just comes straight out as tea.
No breast milk. But and then she starts thinking about, how Leah, again, like, made the brakes in her parents' car go out. And I'd like to point out for the millionth time since starting this podcast that of all the ways that a vampire could kill 2 people, making the brakes... humans. Making the brakes on their car fail is a really lame way to plan a murder for multiple reasons. First of all, the handbrake likely still works.
Inefficient.
Second of all, I lived in California for 6 years, and yeah, there are, hilly places where if you slid down a hill and, it would probably be quite devastating. But not... Where did she say that they were from? It was more in the...
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego. You're not enjoying the mountains of San Diego. I'm just saying, if I were Leah, I would have poisoned. Poison seems to be, and it would have been so easy for Leah, because Leah does all this shit with tea and makes poison tea, and all these people fucking do is drink tea. Why didn't she just poison the tea? It would have been so much easier. There's so many ways that she could have killed them that would have been.
Like, would you, like, if you got given a car and you got told, right, go and cut the brake line, would you know where to find it?
No,
me neither.
no idea.
No. I would aim for a wire near the wheels and probably be wrong.
I would,
knowing my luck, I would do the screen wash.
Yeah, you would cut something and, like, the horn would start going off uncontrollably.
It's not very subtle.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know about you, but when I drive my car, I'm pressing the brakes pretty early on into the journey.
Yeah.
And I would immediately know that my brakes aren't working before I got to a speed where the brakes not working would be a terrible idea.
I like to imagine Leah clung to the undercarriage of the car and just snipping the brakes right at the perfect moment, and then, like, launching herself from the bottom of the car, right?
She's doing, like, a little smutly giggle, like, because it's like, apparently it's now wacky race. She's like, be like, yeah, and unless they live, like, on the exit to a highway where they literally need to go on straight from their house on the slip road, on, like, straight onto, like, 120 kilometers, like, just go straight on.
Yeah.
The brakes would fail at, like, 5 mile an hour first.
Oh, yeah, pulling out of your driveway.
Yeah, you'd be like, hang on, there's something wrong. You put the handbrake on, and then you go and investigate. And you're like, oh, someone tampered with my brakes. Yeah, you don't get up to, like, 70 miles an hour and then, like, start pressing the brake and go, oh my God, nothing's happening. But then again, I have never had my brakes cut, so I can't speak for the people.
Well, they don't. If your brakes are cut, it's not like your brakes are worn down where stopping is just harder. If you have no brakes, then you don't stop at all. So you would not be able to drive, and you would notice immediately, because the moment that you start doing anything, your car would not stop. My foot is on my brakes at all times. Like,
that's not how you drive. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying, like, my foot is always hovering over the brakes.
Yeah, but also I think that a lot of people drive wrong, where, like, you know that you can decelerate just by taking your foot off the gas, right? Like, people seem to believe that using the brake is the only way to slow down, but there's many, many ways.
You could fly off a cliff and hit a tree. I mean, there's lots of ways to
Like, genuinely, if your brakes were cut, like, I don't think that that's very much of a, like, assured death.
Yeah.
Which maybe like, she had this one, and, like, she's, like, gonna do that. But wouldn't the police go, the brakes are cut?
Right. This is now a murder.
Yeah. Like, it's not very forensically smart.
No.
Because, like, a car mangled together isn't going to have a perfectly snipped brake line.
Right. It's going to be a nice little thin, a snip.
Yeah. And it's like, well, this is clearly done by scissors.
Assuming that's how we're just guessing.
I don't know where it's like that. And now to Google how to cut someone's brakes. Incognito mode. Yeah, like, if you want to really do some damage, apparently lug nuts. Is it lug nuts? What is it called?
Yeah.
You call them different things to us. Yeah, apparently that's enough of a threat for somebody. Just mentioning the words. And if you forget, lug nuts.
Lug nuts.
I didn't know what that was for very many, many times, and I had to ask my husband, what is this thing? And he goes, yeah, if you take all the lug nuts off of a car, the wheels will just fall off. I'm like, I see. How fast would the car have to be going before the wheels not being attached would be an issue? But yeah, many ways. Brake break line is not an efficient way of assuring a death.
Yeah.
She was not an effective hitman.
Should have taken the blinker fluid.
Yes. Or a long wait. The bubble for a spirit level.
Anyway, what was your...
Also, she didn't seem to be like too much of an issue about like collateral damage, so she could have just done something really drastic and then covered up the fact that it was specifically her parents that was the target. The only person that she needed alive was Grace.
Yeah.
And to be honest, she didn't even really need to kill the parents.
No, she could have just found a way to get Grace to the school.
Yeah. She could have literally kidnapped her.
Or forged a letter, like like a Hogwarts acceptance letter.
She's a vampire. She could do so many things. She could literally just walk up to Grace and go, "You're coming with me, I'm a vampire, rah, rah." And then Grace would be like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And then she could have just kept her in the dungeon until the magical night of planetary alignment. And no one would have known where she was. Like, as her parents, would you automatically assume she must be at that boarding school in Alaska?
Yeah, I would assume that she's, especially if they were already like kind of arguing, then again, it probably would have driven her parents into a frenzy. She hasn't had her tea. That's what you guys do, right? If your kids miss tea time,
Yes.
you freak out. You know something's wrong.
I was more thinking of, like, you know, with the Amber Alerts, when a child has gone missing, you say, "She needs her insulin, she's very sick." But can you imagine the parents, like, "She needs her tea."
Her tea.
Her tea. Take her tea.
If you
It's
have
like, we
our
appeal
daughter,
to the adductor. She's very sick.
what was your note?
So, but as she's giving the magic back to Remy, she feels all her ribs fix themselves.
Like Bella Swan style?
Yeah, like... And I was like, did she go, "I'll just pinch a bit of his magic, it'll be fine"?
I would assume so. I would assume that she skimmed a little off the top for herself.
Yeah, which is very like yeah, it's warranted for the effort that she's gone through so far. But she didn't offer to anybody else, and nor did Remy.
Yeah.
She's like, "I'm just gonna heal my broken rib, but everybody else, they can fuck themselves."
I mean, to be fair, she probably took the most damage because during the fight, she was the one who is the most human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
yeah.
What vampire powers would a vampire lose? Because Hudson can clearly still bite. Like what?
It's not his vampire powers. It's his persuasion and poof.
Got it. Persuasion and poof. So
persuasion.
He's a special boy who has special powers. So what happens?
He is a special boy.
What about the vampires that don't have special boy powers? What about, just normal vampires? What do they lose anything? Is it super strength or the ability to fade? Is that what they lose? Because they can still nom nom nom.
I don't know, because also, like, it was never mentioned whether the blood they were given for, like, food, whether the blood was human or not, because he was able to go into the hex, which was outside.
Was it? We never learned that.
But he was able to go outside in daylight, so I'm assuming that it wasn't human.
Yeah, after they got out and they were in the graveyard, they were talking about, like, the sun on the horizon and Vander looking off into the nether. The wild blue
Which should
yonder.
have been an issue, because Grace has literally fed Hudson twice in the last couple of pages.
You're right. What if they like walked immediately out?
Immediately. I killed my boyfriend. We escaped death. Oh.
Why isn't he sparkling?
But yeah, I just wondered whether the powers that come with being a vampire are also strengthened with human blood or not.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to I'm not sure.
Also, like, right, so in like Vampire Diaries, in Twilight, in any vampire fiction, at some point there is a moment where a vampire like either has to like force themselves to be out in sunlight or gets pushed out in sunlight. We still don't actually know what happens. Like, no vampire has ever accidentally walked out into the sun yet.
Yeah,
and we're on book 5.
I'm reading from Blood and Ash. I'm on the 4th book, and every race is kind of vampire-y, but they have to drink different types of bloods from different and some the bad ones, I don't want to, because I'm assuming someday you'll probably read these books, but the bad ones, they can't go out in the sun at all because they're evil and they drink baby blood and
oh, that's nice.
And they drink special blood, and then they can't go out in the sun after they've had the special
blood. Does it come in like little sippy cups?
No, they steal the babies and they drink the babies like little Capri Suns. Little juice boxes. Little juice box babies. Juice box babies. That's going to be the name of this. It's not even from this book, but Juice Box Babies is going to be episode title. All right, there we go. Yeah.
And yeah, there's a bit where everybody like gets their powers back from Remy because he unlocks all of their cuffs, and like Grace is checking to see that her gargoyle is there. She's finding her strings again. Flint sends a stream of fire down the dungeon or whatever, and then Grace goes like, "Are you okay? How are you?" to Hudson. And Hudson's like, "Yep, I'm all right." He doesn't try anything to check that his power's still there or still works, because he just doesn't like his powers. Everybody else like loves their alter ego, like loves the power that they've been given, and he's like, "Nope, I'm all right."
He should have just disintegrated somebody, just poof.
But he could have poofed anything like
an object, a rock,
insignificant.
Yeah. He didn't.
But also, they're standing next to Karen, who's really annoying. So he could have just poofed anything.
Every time, I'm always like, "Who's Karen?" Karen.
He'd like to speak to the manager.
He would like to speak to. You know what?
I'd like to think of a 10-year-old with a Karen haircut.
He's Karen now. That's Karen. He acts like a Karen.
But I think that's how you pronounce it.
Karen.
Yeah.
Charon.
Charon.
Sharon.
My Sharona. Yeah. And then they get out of the prison. Still sunlight, so Hudson should technically be a crisp now. But there's a moment where like Vander is so like he's feeling suddenly really free, and then has like the like moment of panic of like, what if Philia doesn't want to talk to me or like whatever. And Grace goes, "Oh no, you should definitely go home, Philia. Can't wait to see you. Everything's forgiven, and you should try some of your granddaughter's cookies or daughter's cookies. They're delicious, aren't they, Hudson?"
Yeah,
because Hudson definitely ate all of them. Why is she bringing in the vampire to validate the taste of cookies?
I don't know, and it's odd because
Flint is right there.
This is a part I'm not gonna spoil anything from Charm, but there is a cookie scene in Charm with Hudson, and I'm noticing kind of like a trend with the cookies.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
is it maybe is it kind of like an Easter egg?
I don't know, because I feel like it was too much of a passing comment for it to be one.
Right.
Because if he said something funny back, that was like calling to their past that we just didn't quite understand, like almost like an inside joke that he's forgotten that Grace doesn't remember, then yeah, that would be an Easter egg. But he's like, sure,
yeah,
like he's confused why she's brought him into
right.
He's like, "Why are you asking me whether the cookies tasted great or not? Because I definitely did not eat any."
And is Vander so dumb that he doesn't know that vampires wouldn't have it? Is he?
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Vander would definitely know that vampires cannot eat cookies and would have been like, Like, that's like me saying, that steak was amazing, wasn't it? And then literally, like, talked to somebody who is definitely a vegetarian, has been said, like, they're a vegetarian or a vegan this entire time. And the other person goes, I can see that they definitely ate a steak.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think, like, immediately you were lying, and then therefore you immediately remove the value of the sentence.
They would be super suspicious.
Yeah, they'd be like, well, why are you trying so hard to push the lie on when it's not a lie? They were good. It was weird. It was a weird sentence.
Grace has been...
And then Vanda just poofs into a tree. I'm just lost.
Yeah, well... First of all, this would be such a useful trait, or useful skill, useful magic that Grace, there have been multiple occasions where she has been in forested areas where she could benefit from teleporting. But because we already know that she has earth magic.
Mm-hmm. And I can't remember who says it, because I read the chapters yesterday.
It was
but
Flint.
someone goes, yeah, earth magic. As if it's like really simple, normal earth magic that he can't do because he can only really kind of grow a little bit of a flower, which we never see again.
That's true. Wouldn't Flint's ability to grow flowers be earth magic? Like...
But he doesn't use it.
No, and I think that, no spoilers, but there's a huge missed opportunity in the coming chapters where his ability to grow flowers could have created a very heartwarming moment, and I'm very disappointed.
A nice little callback. But, like, it's almost like it's forgotten that he can breathe fire because he's a dragon, but he's also able to grow flowers because remember back in, like, Crave...
He can breathe ice, too.
And he just doesn't.
He cools a water bottle. You never see him blow ice.
No.
I don't know.
So, anyway.
So, we've got the one spoiler, but before we jump into that, I did want to point out, since we didn't mention it at the beginning, that we took a week-long break. We should have announced that right away. That way people didn't think that they, like, missed an episode. And I'm actually really proud of us. Am I allowed to brag on us? We have not missed an episode, I believe, since, like, before the holidays. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that that's very special. Everybody should tell us how great we know. But really, everyone...
Also, we never said, yesterday was your birthday. Happy birthday, Starla.
Yes, yesterday was my birthday. Why we didn't record an episode last week because we were both sick, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And very busy.
Yeah, I'm still sick, so...
Yeah, I remember your message being like, so I also see that you're behind on some things, so I'm going to let you catch up on that.
Yeah, it was chaotic.
Like I feel cool. I feel seen. I feel caught out.
Right. No, I felt stressed, and I felt stressed for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? Screw it. It's my birthday present to myself is that we're not going to record an episode. We're going to relax. So I'm glad that we did. But thank you guys for being patient and for waiting for us. And if for any reason we ever skip an episode, it is almost always because we are either sick or overwhelmed.
Sleeping off the denial that we need to do things.
Yes, exactly.
And then just a heads up, next week I am at Crufts.
Oh.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I leave Wednesday night, so we might need to pick a day to do it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So that I'm not recording as I'm walking out the door.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm off to the biggest dog show on earth, so if anybody is coming to Crufts, hit me up. I will be the Good Citizen ring for Thursday, Friday with my dog Pixel. And for Saturday and Sunday, I will be at the Discover Dog Stand with the Cardigan Welsh Corgis, which is P35 in Hall 3. And I will be with Pixel and Siren, my puppy. So we will be introducing the breed to everybody who hasn't ever met one before.
So go take selfies with Amber.
Yeah.
And post them in our Facebook group, the Crave the Book Podcast Tea Room, so we can see them if you are in the UK. But we have one spoiler, so if you have not read Court, go ahead and bounce out so we don't ruin anything for you, because I do find this to be a big turning point in Court. Okay, Amber, you can
take it away.
You take it away. Take it away.
So the scene where Grace is searching for Remy's magic, and she goes through that moment of
annoying.
She goes for an annoying moment, but she also goes for like a realization moment where the weeks before her parents died, her parents were like very shady, whispering in corners, keeping Grace out of the loop a lot. And I think she realized that something was going on in the background, and they didn't know how to tell her, and they kept on plying her with tea and things like that. And there's a moment of regret where she wishes that she could have had that discussion with her parents before they died. And it suddenly brought me to that scene where Isadora starts her torture, because that is the very moment where Grace feels the most regret.
Yeah, it was, but it was also a moment, I believe that's when Grace started to piece things together as well. Like, she starts getting little bits of clarity. It's almost like this connection with Remy was the start of her unlocking core memories that...
Well, I think up until this point, like, the tea was still very much heavily influencing her memories and her experience of growing up, because she doesn't remember being in the wood forest, except for like a sudden fleeting memory of it. She doesn't remember a lot of her childhood because she was drugged. And I'm just kind of wondering whether the longer we go on, the more core memories are unlocked, not because she's like, oh yeah, that thing did happen. It was her fogginess is fading. And then she is like putting two and two together because she's getting more access to information from other people.
But so with that, and now Charm spoiler, run, if you haven't read Charm, or run, Charm spoiler. If that were the case, when she was in the Shadow Realm, would that mean that the tea just remains stagnant in her system, almost like the gargoyles in Court that are just kind of stuck in place? So she's perpetually just,
foggy.
Time isn't, it's not moving the same way, so it's still in her system, because that would, with that tea removed for that long, it would stand to reason that she would start remembering things even. I mean, and she does have core memories, like the pie.
Yeah, she has the pumpkin pie and things like that. She gets like locked into her memories as well. And then that's why maybe Hudson uses it in Crush, where he's like, remember that memory of your mum teaching you how to ride a bicycle? And she's like, I forgot all about that memory.
Yeah.
And I think that because he had shared them with her, he was reminding her of them himself.
Yeah, he's seen them more recently than she has.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe it is the tea kind of became, it faded.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. It made me wonder whether like Isadora was able to find that out about her through going through her head, because somehow she got it. Like, I wouldn't know what my biggest regret was, but I would be able to tell you what I feel right now is my biggest regret, but it wouldn't be something as profound as I never had that conversation I wanted to have.
Did Grace at any point in these chapters that we just read say that arguing with her parents during that time and not spending time with them was her biggest regret? Because if she is
no.
Okay, I was going to say, because if she is at any point acknowledged it as being her biggest regret, then it would make more sense. But I don't think that she ever does acknowledge it as actually being her biggest regret. So,
no, and even if she does, I don't think it was ever out loud.
I mean, Isadora's power might just be being able to surface whatever, almost like a magnet. It can just identify the root of whatever the strongest negative emotion is that somebody has.
Or like Loki, what is it you desire?
Just pulling it like right.
Was that Loki? I need to watch them again, but I think his power is that he gets to pull out what is it that people desire the most.
This would be the opposite. What do people desire the least?
Yeah.
For you, it would be crab legs.
What is it you regret the most? Yes.
You desire them the least.
What is it that you desire?
For me, it would probably
Lucifer.
be... Lucifer.
It was Lucifer, not Loki. But yeah, he goes like, what is it you truly desire? And then it brings forth like that. I want to set up a ska band, and he's like, "Oh, wasn't expecting that." But yeah, I'm wondering whether her power is something similar to that, where it's like, what is it you fear the most, or what is it that you regret the most?
Yeah. I would fear a wet fart in an elevator the most, I think. I'm pretty...
Yeah, but that's like a couple of seconds and it's over.
Well, I guess
it'll forever stay in your memory, I guess.
I guess I'm just not as guilty as you are. I don't know.
Yeah, I have lower standards. That being said, I'd never go in an elevator with anybody else. I would just wait until it's empty. Especially if one was threatening.
Oh wait, no wait. I forgot about the deaf girl at the shopping complex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was probably my biggest regret was
not speaking sign language.
not knowing sign language to communicate with her, which you guys...
And also shopping where there's no cash point.
Yeah. If you guys missed that episode of the podcast from like 6 weeks ago, you'll have to go watch them because I can't remember what episode it is and I don't feel like retelling the story again because it was very embarrassing. So you'll have to...
You get secondhand cringe from it.
Yeah. Guys, thanks so much for listening. I don't have anything crazy in the next few weeks that I think will prevent us from posting our episodes on Thursdays. Amber, we can plan to record on Tuesday to make sure that even though you have obligations this upcoming week, we can make sure that we have an episode out. But other than that, guys, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.